Thanks for always playing with me, Van. If you're ever feeling sad because of work, just let me know, and I'll give you a nice pat on the head. Then you'll feel all better.
Hey, Van? I wanted to thank you proper. Thank you so much for accepting me no matter what. I'm going to keep trying to figure out who I want to be. And you being there for me as I do makes me more happy than you could ever know.
Due to yours and Mirabelle's efforts, I was able to confront the regrets I had buried deep within my heart. If the opportunity ever presents itself, I hope that someday you will allow me to support you in the same way.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for your patience. It's time for the main event. We would now like to present a special performance put together by this year's Student Council.
A dress from the old king?
Whoa! That girl's cute as heck.
Miss Claudel. She's so pretty.
This year's show is going to be a little different from usual. Rather than having it run entirely by the students, the teachers and other friends of the school have also graciously lent their support. When thinking about the best way to embody this year's theme, we wanted to come up with an answer that would be fun for everyone. And our answer was this hour-and-a-half show, a production that's all-inclusive of both Calvert and its neighbors, and of both tradition and innovation. It's called A New Season Together. I sincerely hope that our student body, as well as our guests, enjoy it to their heart's content.
Ah, so that's what they meant by quick change. They've really stepped up their game since last month. Too bad I won't get to see the ending. Oh well. I'm sure I can get someone to show me a recording later. Well, I wouldn't want to keep him waiting. Good thing I held off on giving this back to Agnes. Alright, Mare Bear. Rise and shine. I can see her app running in the background, but I guess she can't actually manifest in this dimension. Might have to try something else.
I'm surprised you didn't stay until the end of the show.
They didn't really need me there. I was more or less a supervisor in name only. If anything, I should be the one who's surprised. Unlike me, you actually helped with the performance. Also, unlike me, you didn't just step out in the middle of the show. You weren't even there from the start.
I wasn't, no. I'm afraid that stage was just a little too full of life. For someone as hollow and empty as me. A person with no sense of self.
Well, like I told you before, that's exactly why no one else can play your roles like you do. Been a while. Nina Fenley. Actually, maybe I should be saying, nice to finally meet you. You aren't just a rising star in the movie biz with oodles of talent to spare. There's more to you than meets the eye.
Oh, dear. You're laying on the compliments quite thick. My face must be beet red right about now. Yes, I have another role apart from Nina the actress. I'm guessing you've already sussed out what it is.
Only got a rough idea, actually. At first, I had you pegged as the third C. The person who's been sending us all those ominous warning messages. I sifted through just about every possible candidate for that in my mind. Thought maybe the first or second C were cooking up a new plot. I even considered if Professor Epstein was our new C.
Because his first name is Claude, yes? That's a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Although, when you consider the immortals from the Empire and the true identity of the Garden Master, I suppose it isn't completely improbable.
Yeah, but even I'll admit the theory's a bit out there. You being C, on the other hand, seemed plausible, but I ruled you out in the end. Just couldn't find anything concrete. Plus, you don't give off that smell. Wait, sorry. Not that kind of smell.
Don't worry, I know what you meant. Anyway, you were right to rule me out because I'm not C. Although, if I had been, that would have been problematic, considering we've been ordered to hunt him down.
How the hell'd they get in here? You people defy all logic. No, I take it back. They're here because of your power, right?
Correct. We used his invitation to you as an opportunity to tread into his territory, so that we may find and execute him. He who hides behind a coat as well as the name of C, and who dons the role of the Crimson Beast, must be eliminated.
Didn't realize you had it all figured out. And here I thought Shizuna's master was the one with the omniscient eye.
No. My special eyes are quite different from his. Now, kindly withdraw, Arkwright. We will handle things from here. If you leave now, you might even make it in time for the last half of the show.
Sorry, but I'm staying right where I am.
Oh, are you now? Our target is nothing but a bestial affront to the goddess. Strictly speaking, you no longer have any connection to him. I know you're well aware of this fact, and yet you resist. Why?
Simple, really. From my point of view, this is a 4SPG, and I already accepted it. He might have went about it in a roundabout way, but the fact is, he saved our hides more than a few times. So I've got a reasonable request on my hands, and I've accrued a debt. No self-respecting Spriggan would walk away without paying him back. I get that they're a thorn in your side, but if you want to get to the hunting grounds, you'll have to do it over my dead body.
Well, if that's how you want to play it, then I suppose we have no choice but to pull back.
You guys are unpredictable as ever. By the way, I got a letter from Master the other day, and it reminded me of something. Arteria's elusive captain and wildcard, who took up their post 3 years ago, was a fake who never existed. So if that's not who you are, then what's your other role? What's your real title?
There isn't really a title for what I do, per se. But Her Holiness the Pope and the Gralsritter's commander call me the Eschaton Saint. It would have been nice for us to have worked together, but thanks to your little cheat, we'll have to back off. I'll be heading back to the festival now. Do take care of yourself in there. Goodbye for now, Van.
Hey! Wait a minute! Is that? Looks like a shard-induced dimensional interference, but on a level that shouldn't be possible.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Whoa! Aren't you?
Your name was Van Arkwright, yes? If I were to rate the cuteness of your name, you'd get 57 points.
Hey! What's with the crappy score?
Nadia, Ren, ready to come on in? Oh, finally!
My, you can be quite the handful sometimes.
Huh?
Van, you are horrible! How could you leave us all behind?
Well, Hey! What the hell are you guys doing here?
You've got some nerve, you know that?
Looks like the old fart's finally gone senile.
For once, I'm in full agreement with Aaron.
I'm not even going to ask why. Not this time. You always do this!
I share her sentiment.
Hey now! Pump the brakes for a sec!
Never, ever do that to us again! Do you hear me, Van Arkwright?
Loud and clear.
Serves him right.
I also find your behavior to be objectionable, even if I do understand your intentions.
I'd get it if you didn't want to involve Nadia in me, but your assistance too? Come on.
I can explain. Wait! Hey! Hold up a sec! How'd you guys know what I was planning to do?
Could you be any slower on the uptake? Literally everyone here knew that something was off with you. We aren't blind, my dude.
At the very least, we could tell it wasn't as bad as that time when you had completely given up.
But did you really think we wouldn't notice? You've been acting strange ever since you got that message.
And just when I was telling Aaron about how weird you were acting, you up and left without telling us.
After that, I pulled the car around, and we followed after you. When your Zyphus reading suddenly disappeared, even I was taken aback.
It must have been due to the phase space expansion, but that portal seems to be something else entirely.
If you're thinking of what excuses to make, stop. You're a Spriggan and the boss of Arkride Solutions, yes? Then stop running away. Or, to put it more aptly, stop running from the people who care about you so much. Like your master said, you forged these bonds, so now you have to live with them.
I was just doing a little digging. That's all, really. I swear. I wasn't planning on throwing my life away. Not like last time. If you guys want to tag along, that's fine by me. But what about the performance?
Oh, I already finished my part. Odette and Albert can handle the rest. Me and S finished ours too.
Well, I was supposed to show up at the finale and say a few words at the end. But if I'm unable to make it, I'm sure Albert will figure something out.
Poor guy. Talk about a trial by fire for the future student council president.
All right. The whole lot of you want in on this wild ride, then you better strap in. Wait, do I even know your name?
My name's Lapis. Lapis Rosenberg. I've heard that you're an acquaintance of York, and that you've done a lot for Swin and Nadia. I believe the reason you can't summon your hollow in this phase space is because your Genesis is currently inoperable. But if we can reach the Crimson Beast, she should be able to come out to play. Until then, I'll be your playmate. Lucky you! Well, aren't you going to show me your gratitude?
Sure. Thanks.
Wow, she really isn't anything like the Red Fairy. It's like her personality's done a complete 180.
Yup, she's real cute. In fact, she's super duper cute. Right? There's no denying that. Our LP is the cutest thing in the whole wide world. Nadia! Don't hug me when I'm in my shard form.
All right then. If you're up for it, I don't mind having the old man's masterpiece in my back pocket. Of course, that goes for the rest of you too. That man pretending to be C, the Crimson Grendel, is waiting for us on the other side. It ain't gonna be a walk in the park, but I'm not worried, because we've got one hell of a lineup here. Let's go kick his ass, and then get ours back to the festival. Right!
What is this place?
If this were a movie, I'd say these are some seriously cutting-edge special effects.
If I were to put it into words, this place is like several parallel dimensions merged on top of one another.
It's like an expanse where the laws of causality overlap. Actually, it's less of an expanse and more of a boundary.
I agree. I wonder if this place was made manifest by the 8th Genesis along with the other 7.
Yes, I think that's exactly right. That would explain why the Genesis lost their power. It was absorbed by this expanse. No, actually, it might be more accurate to say their power gathered around the person who called Van here.
Yeah, I bet that's exactly what happened.
We've already got a pretty good idea of who it is we're dealing with. And if our guess is right on the money, then the chief's the only one who can send him off proper.
Then I think it's pretty clear what our role is in all this.
Yep, we're here to back you up.
I don't think any of us want this hanging over our heads while we're partying it up at the festival.
I will do everything within my power to help you see him off, so that we may not harbor any regrets after today.
Until my vacation's over, I'm afraid you're stuck with me, whether you like it or not.
It looks like time is at a standstill here, just like it was during Pandemonium. So if all goes well, we might be able to wrap this up and be back in time for the end of the performance.
Let's shoot for that then. I'd like to have one last hurrah before our short-lived school lives are done and dusted.
Same. I'm sure we'll have other chances to have some school fun, but I'm all for ending things on a high note. No fair. You two had all the fun without me.
I guess it's up to us alumni to ensure everyone in your grade receives a proper send-off.
Indeed. We wouldn't want any of them to end up like a certain dropout, whom I will refrain from naming.
Hey!
Regardless, we'll help you finish this, Van. Everyone here knows what this 4SPG means to you. That's why we'll do this all together.
Thanks, guys. Alright, gang. Let's get on out there and finish this thing! Right!
Fancy meeting you here, my friends. It's good to see the former Angel Boy is doing better than when I last saw him.
What?
Oh, come the hell on!
What are you three doing here?
Great. It's the world's most hateable trio.
It's been a full month since our last encounter with them.
You must have used the girl's shadow powers to force your way in here.
Why, yes. That and a little help from our dear Retzi.
She's always had a soft spot for you. And why that is, I'll never understand.
You know, I was wondering the same thing as them. Why are we here? Their fight literally has nothing to do with us.
Funny, I had the same exact thought. Is there any point to us being here? We fulfilled our contract a month ago. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't teleport us out right now.
Oh, don't be like that, kiddos. I'm trying to help you experience life's greatest pleasures, and those are often found off the beaten path. Now then, we have quite an ensemble here, and I can't think of a more fitting stage to close out this little play of ours. I wanted to make one last appearance before we take a bow, so I thought it'd be fun if I served as the opening act to this grand finale.
The nerve of him.
Thanks, but we don't need an opening act. We're fired up enough without your help.
Ooh, I remember him from when I was being controlled. He's scary. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. That whack job is the king of creepy.
I took a look at the report on what happened at Nemeth Island. Procurement and attempted use of biochemical weapons are serious charges. You won't be getting off with a mere slap on the wrist.
Oh dear. I suppose that means my free pass for helping take down Almata has already expired. Well, our little pact was just about over anyway. Which means things will start to heat up soon.
Well aware, and we'll be ready.
I see. He must be talking about the bilateral non-intervention pact my father made with the Grand Master of Ouroboros.
I can't believe the leader of an entire nation would strike a deal with some faceless organization.
Whatever. That ain't our concern. You two can work that stuff out on your own time. Anyway, let me get one thing straight. You're here because you're bored, right? Need a bit of excitement now that your Nemeth Island circus act is over? Well, we don't got time to mingle with shit stirrers like you. So let's just get this over with.
Damn, you guys are in a bad mood, but that just makes me want to push your buttons even more.
They've got more people this time. Ugh, this is going to be a real pain.
That's fine by me. As they say, no pain, no gain. Take that to heart. Think of this as your final trial. Show me some fancy moves out there, kiddos.
Oh, really? It's about time.
Hell frickin' yeah! Now I'm fired up!
They've got that killer glint in their eyes. If you stand in our way, we'll cut you down to size.
I might as well sample a bit of that poison you're so famous for.
You're going to pay for what you did to me on Nebeth Island. This time, I'll fight you with my own power. The power that my friends helped me attain!
Ren has... I have had just about enough of you at this point. It's about time you got a dose of comeuppance, and I'll be the one to deliver it!
We'll see about that. All right, it's showtime! Let's boogie!
Damn you! Don't screw with me, you shitheads!
Language, Ix, and volume. Not that I don't share your sentiments.
Even with them being totally outnumbered, they still put up a good fight. Those two really are something.
What a bummer. I really wanted to knock them down a peg, and bringing them to heel would have done the trick. Bring them to heel?
I'm guessing that's not a phrase she picked up on in school.
That was incredible. You really do know how to show an old man a good time. But like I said earlier, we're just the opening act.
Are you serious? Again?
Stop running away!
You guys give new meaning to the word coward. Oh well. In a way, I'm glad you guys showed up when you did. Better here than at the finish line. You won't be able to get in our way later, because you'll be too busy licking your wounds.
Fair point.
They could have shown up at the worst possible moment and spoiled everything. That's very much the sort of thing they do.
About that. After my recent exploits, I received a bit of a tongue lashing, so I won't be stepping too far out of line for the time being. Anywho, a promise is a promise. Ix Eldarion, Yorda Eldarion. I hereby pronounce you shared owners of the title of Enforcer number 20. It's the third number from the last. I hope you'll enjoy dancing at the end of our strings.
Hell yes! We've hit the big time! Sucks having to share a number, but who cares?
Yeah, I don't mind that part so much. I'm just excited to have some freedom for a change.
Seems like your betrayal was short-lived. Now you're right back into the fold. And you're adding new members to the Enforcer's ranks. It's been 2 years since we confirmed the existence of Enforcer number 19.
You just had to drag those kids down with you. You really are the worst, Harwood.
Why, thank you, my dear Ren. Now it's time we exited stage left. Let's hope this doesn't end with your demise.
Bye-bye! Next time we're totally blowing your faces off.
Try not to die, 'cause we want to be the ones to slaughter you.
What is their problem?
I feel you, really. But you may as well be yelling at a brick wall. Ugh! It's like they were deliberately trying to get on our nerves. They were so not cute. Their names, on the other hand, get my seal of approval. I give Yorda a 91 and Ix a 78.
Are you ever going to tell us the criteria?
With everything that happened on the island, I couldn't help but be a little anxious. Maybe I should have laid into him a bit more.
Personally, I think you did fine, Catra. I agree. I'd even say you were great.
Besides, It's not like he would have listened or cared. What's important is that you beat him at his own game and made him look like a fool.
I suppose you're right.
They may have delayed us, but now there is nothing else standing in our way.
Right. If anything, it made for a fine warm-up.
Ready to beat feet, Van?
Yeah. It's about time we wrap this up.
It's the lights from the 7 Genesees.
So their power was here all along. Or rather,
The essence of their power. It's been extracted, allowing the Genesees to act autonomously.
That seems like an apt enough description to me. And look at what's inside of the man in front of us.
Ah, the 8th Genesis. The centerpiece of all that's happened these past 2 months.
So you've come, Van Arkwright. And you brought the other fixers with you, along with a few fresh faces.
Well, you were the one who told me to be in front of Treon Tower at 4:30 p.m. I'm probably a little late, but hey, time's frozen. Nice when technicalities work in your favor.
Yeah, I suppose you get a pass.
The hell? He's talking like a normal-ass person now.
Well, aside from the demonic reverberation anyway.
Yeah. Though, why do I get the feeling I've heard that voice before?
You're right. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I hear it too. And when he speaks, I can feel my chest tighten.
Then is he someone you all know? Or is it possible that...
Maybe we know him too. You do know him. But I can't reveal who he is. Since we're in close proximity of the 8th, maybe you can call out to her now, Van.
Good point. There!
What took you so long? You have no sense of urgency. You made me sit there in the background for ages, and then you replaced me? Your name was Lapis, right? While I appreciate your help up to now, I've got everything under control. So why don't you buzz off? Fine. You can have Van back. I was simply repaying what I owed. Now hush. You're interrupting a very important conversation.
Whoa, LP just shut her down. She's like her older sibling.
Well, while that certainly is cute, we really should get back to the subject at hand.
Right. I hope you all know how much I appreciate your help. Thanks to you guys, I can finally put this 4SPG to bed.
Van.
First things first. Let's see if my suspicions are right on the mirror. Can't move forward until we do that, right?
Correct. Just as the smallest units of matter have their own particles and waveforms, my existence is ever in a state of flux. It cannot be validated without first being observed. You must determine my identity without relying on your lauded sense of smell.
Fair enough. As soon as I got your message this morning, I knew for sure that you were C. We're positive that you aren't the first or second C. Testimony from the people who knew him makes that clear as day. Now then, there was something that stuck out to me when I was going over the notes again. The warnings there were stated so plainly, I couldn't get a bead on who could have written them. That's the mark of a real pro, a pro who specializes in multiple fields, writing, among others.
Multiple fields? Wait.
Oh, I get it now.
And that's when it hit me. There's only one person I know who has such an annoying attention to detail. When that thought came to mind, I immediately said to myself, there's no way. But after learning the Garden Master's true identity, fighting through hell and back during that coup, and seeing people be recreated by the 8th Genesis, I couldn't entirely dismiss the idea.
A deceased revolutionary, clinging to existence like a parasite.
And the Genesis recreating versions of Jin and Kilika, who were almost like abstractions.
Not bad. However, there is still one small thing you failed to pick up on. If I am who you believe me to be, then tell me, what reason would I have to hide behind the name C? Why would I adopt an ill-conceived alias used by those who operated in the shadows of Crossbell and the Empire?
That's the easy part, actually. There's a reason you chose the name C in particular, outside of needing a convenient smokescreen. And that reason has less to do with the name itself, and more to do with its placement in the alphabet. You picked C because it would conceal your real initials, while also falling right in between them.
I never considered that.
The alphabet? The letters before and after C would be...
B and D. I don't believe the order matters in this particular instance.
Yeah. So, here's our answer. About time you showed your face. Dingo Brad!
You get a passing mark, Van. You not only ascertained my true identity, but also the reason I chose the name C. Now you can bear witness to my true form, a mere shard-based replica, a shadow of my old self. You, on the other hand, are the same as ever. You may be a year older, but time hasn't smoothed your rough edges.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel like I just walked into a retirement home. Still.
I did have my suspicions. But even now, I still can't wrap my head around all this.
The idea of him being the third scene never even crossed my mind. So, he's a shard replica?
Does that mean... No. I thought that may have meant the real Dingo was still with us. But that isn't the case, is it?
No, I'm not of this world anymore. As you already know, my life ended when Cray Village ceased to be. Unlike the immovable and the flying swallow, this form wasn't created based on a pre-existing body. The circumstances surrounding its creation run parallel to what happened to that Basel professor, and are a direct result of what transpired in Cray.
Did you say Basel? Do you mean Professor Callahan?
His memories and personality were converted into an AI by the 5th Genesis.
I've reviewed the footage of the Cray incident countless times over, but even I never once considered the possibility of it sparking a convergence.
Is that... really what happened?
Van...
Aptly put, Mr. Presidential Aide. When the end had arrived, I resigned myself to my fate. But in those last few moments, I felt a pang of regret. Despite how I viewed myself, I knew there were others who cared for my well-being, who would mourn my passing. Had I anticipated Dante's intentions, I could have saved everyone. By not doing more for those people, I committed an egregious sin. That moment of overwhelming shame and self-loathing was the origin point, where my observed existence was absorbed into the network.
That's unbelievable. Melchior had connected the legacy, which happens to be an observation device, to the orbital network. And that meant your consciousness had been stored in the core of the 8th Genesis.
The pieces are slowly coming together.
All in a split second? Wait, no. Time isn't really an issue here, is it? Right. If Elysium was tasked with completing the convergence, for example, it would have taken it about 10 seconds to do the job. And if it had the power of the 8th Genesis backing it up?
It'd take 2 seconds at most, probably even less. The 8th is a special piece of work. After all, it acts as the core of the...
There's that garbled bullshit again. That isn't important right now, though.
Long story short, the 8th is the reason you're here.
And while residing within the core, you sent Van a warning about the Revolution Festival. Then sometime after that, you fell into the Garden Master's clutches, who made you into his Crimson Beast.
You've got it. As a result, I killed many gangsters and special ops troops. At first, he had me dancing to his tune, marching in step. But gradually, I was able to wrestle control back from him, and by Nemeth Island, I was free of his influence. Believe you me, playing the part of his silent, subservient pet from then on was no easy task.
Look at you, being all humble.
Yeah, you fooled us pretty good. Ever consider taking up acting as a career?
That explains why you tried to warn us, even through all that.
I guess looks aren't the only thing you've got going for you. No wonder Boss leaned on you so much.
Huh? He did?
Yeah, like we said before, our boss has a bit of a checkered history. He met an informant shortly after entering the Republic 2 years ago. That man became a benefactor of sorts for him.
We never met him in person, but I think they talked over comms. He said he had his eye on you because of how active you were behind the scenes during the war.
I'll admit, I was taken aback when he reached out to me. I prepared some false IDs for him, and we both wreaked a bit of havoc here and there. But that was all part of my job as an informant. I believe benefactor is a bit of a misnomer.
Well, he was grateful to you all the same.
You must be lying out of your ass. Nobody's that cool.
He has an interesting background indeed, and I'm not the least bit surprised to hear it.
Alright, quit stroking his ego, everyone. Though, I ain't shocked to hear that you came back around on your own. Anyway, it's time we cut to the chase, Dingo. Actually, I think it'd be best if I called you what you are. A clone created by the 8th Genesis, the Grendel Zolga.
Yes, that's exactly who I am.
Right, you're not the real Dingo.
Yeah. Like the replicas of Jin and Kilika. I'm nothing but an imposter. A being whose only purpose is to observe, in accordance with the 8th Genesis' design. And that which the 8th Genesis is designed to observe is karma, the one thing in which humanity by its very nature cannot escape.
Karma is humanity's sin. In fact, it's the original sin.
Is he planning to fight us? Is that how he intends to settle this?
But why?
If he's like those Jin and Kilika clones, then there wasn't any other way this was gonna end!
Over those 3 days, you were exposed to an unsavory truth. Humanity is weak. Feed them a story that fits their premise of how things should be. And all ethics, morality, and bonds are readily cast aside, and in turn, there's no line they won't cross. Just look at Dante's Melchior, and the overseers of the gardens. Or even myself, a foolish man whose actions put Almada on the path to power. Naturally, not all will fall to sin, but the potential for it lies within everyone. That weakness is humanity's original sin, one that the 8th Genesis was built to observe with vigilance. Its ceaseless observation persists. It has yet to truly be brought to an end. That's why I called you here, Van. To bring a decisive end to it.
A beast that devours sin. Huh.
Well, I do appreciate you going into a lot of detail about the request and all. But I don't think any of us are looking to become your next meal. That'd make for a real shit ending if you ask me.
You don't mean...
Yes. The present you now know will soon be reconstructed. All the sins of those 3 days that you erased will come back into being. The forced reset is a byproduct of the Octgeneses. It is a retry method that can only be performed so many times. Its purpose is to achieve the desired observational outcome. Very soon, the other possibilities that were archived from past resets will be designated as the final observational outcome.
That's bullshit! Why did it have to come to this? No, that's not an outcome we're willing to accept!
Even if you say there's nothing we can do, we're not just gonna stand here and let that happen!
We dispelled those illusions and deceptions, all to attain the present we now reside in. While this may sound conceited, we will not let all our efforts go to waste.
Darn straight, this is one plot twist I'm definitely not on board with. No way, no how.
I'm with you there. And if Ace were here, I'm sure he'd say the same thing.
Yeah! A future without S and LP is a future I don't want to live in. I don't want a future without me either. Don't make me go back to being all red and ugly.
I suppose another coup d'etat would cast a considerable pall over the festival. You may have aided me in the past, but I can't allow you to take this from us.
Don't expect things to play out in the way you're envisioning, because I will not let that outcome come to pass.
I'm not about to let another coup d'etat come about. No matter what, I will prevent it. Miss Misarugi will require your aid.
You got it. For the record, I was planning to help out even without a contract.
We're facing a Genesis that observes sin. And you too, Dingo. I know you're being forced to carry out its function. I'm so sorry. But in order for us to hold on to our present, we have no choice but to fight.
And that is how it should be.
Okay, let's show him what the original Grendel is made of.
You read my mind. About time we got this 4SPG underway. Let's go, Grendel Zolga!
Very well. Then face me, Van Arkwright! Your end is nigh! What? Yeah, I don't think so! Radiant Sunray!
Wow. He actually did it. Nice going.
Looks like you're you again, you damn lady killer.
Yeah. And I have you all to thank for that.
Van and Dingo! Oh, thank Arusha!
Yes. I was a little worried there for a moment.
Does that mean...
Probably. The Genesees have most likely regained their luster.
You're right. It looks like they have their power back. But that means...
I feared as such.
Oh, come on. Why the long face? I'm just going back where I belong. This is a time for celebration, not tears. I mean, you finally completed the little lady's request.
Well, half of it anyway, which is kinda crazy to admit. Given all the stuff we've been through together, would have liked having you along for the ride. You'd have been a big help.
No, I'm sure you guys can get along just fine without me. You made it this far on your own, right? You know, when I first met you, you reminded me of myself back when I was still wet behind the ears. But somewhere along the way, people started relying on you more and more, and it looks like you learned how to rely on them in return. Thanks for taking on my 4SPG. You really did me a solid there, Van.
Think nothing of it. I already owed you for all you've done for me. A guy's gotta pay his debts when he gets the chance, right? Wish you'd give me a little more time to pay back everything I owe. Maybe I can pass along a message for you? To Marielle, I mean.
Not being able to talk with her before the end is my one regret. I'm proud of her, even if she stumbles or spins her wheels along the way. She's finally standing on her own 2 feet. I only wish we could have talked one last.
Dingo? Is that you?
What? Marielle?
What is she doing here?
Hey! When'd you run off, LP?
You left to find her on your own?
Not exactly. I was asked to bring her here. A certain someone reached out to me since that glasses guy's tracker doesn't work here.
It can't be.
Oh, but it can, Renee Kincaid. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance at last. You'll have to excuse me for keeping my face concealed. Swin, Nadia, it's been some time since we last crossed paths. You both look well.
Well, I'll be. That's some trick you pulled, boss.
So you're still alive and kicking, huh? Course, I wasn't worried about you in the slightest.
Wait a sec. Don't tell me you're...
Wasn't he officially declared dead after that disaster in Crossbell?
That he was. I had not realized I would be unable to track him when I set foot in this place.
Your name was Van Arkwright, yes? You have my thanks for looking after those 3 in my stead. I wanted to express my gratitude in some way, so I had Lapis fill me in on all that's transpired.
So, this is a dream, right? A man wearing sunglasses called out to me, and when he put his phone to my ear,
I heard Dingo's voice. Then I rushed over to the tower, and...
As a token of my appreciation for all Dingo's done for me, I arranged to have her brought here. I'm relieved we made it in time.
Can't believe it.
That's awfully considerate of you. Thanks.
Dingo? Oh, Dingo! Dingo! It's you! It's really you!
And after I just got done telling everyone how independent you've become, now I'm starting to get worried.
You should be worried! I'm a complete mess without you, Dingo!
Oh, I can't agree there. If your coverage of the coup is anything to go by, you're doing great. And if you've been listening, you know what's about to happen, right? I've already passed on. So, this one fleeting moment we have together will be our last. Thank you, everyone. Now, I can leave this world without any regrets.
I was simply returning a favor. That is all.
Me too. Don't think I didn't notice the point where you started looking out for me. You were the one who loosened the leash that Masked Jerk had on me. It's thanks to you that I became myself again.
Guess we owe you thanks too.
Yup. You're an awesome guy, Dingo.
And Van, I will always, always be grateful to you and your friends for what you did here. There's one last thing I need to tell you, Agnes, about your great-grandfather's diaries.
Huh?
What about them?
I was able to learn something while serving as the 8th Genesis's vessel. It's not much, but it's still worth sharing. This was an isolated incident. You haven't averted the end he foretold in his final entry. Don't worry, though. I know. You'll find a way. This is goodbye, Marielle and Van. Oh, and be sure to give Bermati and all my other acquaintances my regards.
Yeah. You got it.
Hey, Dingo. I promise I'll do my very best. So don't worry. I'll be fine.
So long, Dingo.
After that, we returned to the irreplaceable present that we worked so hard to protect. And though we felt sorry for Marielle, she smiled as she pushed us on, and we all left Trion Mall together. Somehow, against all odds, we made it back to the school festival in time for the end of the performance.
first day of the Artemis Academy Festival is now over. Thank you all so much for attending. We'd like to ask all students and personnel to gather in the courtyard once you've finished your preparations for tomorrow.
Man, this year's festival was a real nice change of pace.
I hear next year's supposed to be different too. Wonder what it'll be like. I want to come back tomorrow.
I've got to admit, Risha Mao and Fee Clausel dropping in made for one hell of a surprise. Gave the show some serious star power. You sure went ham with the gorgeous guest stars. Good work.
Well, I can't take the credit for that one. That was actually Ren's idea, believe it or not. Odette, Albert, and I got on board almost immediately. It just seemed like a natural fit. Especially given Calvert's past and present, and the increasing signs of division. And not to mention, our relationships with other countries.
People are anxious now that reparations are over, and Zyphatech being iterated on outside Calvert ain't exactly easing their fears. Given the way Renee's been acting, I'd say action's being taken to counter that. We'll probably have a lead on the rest of the world for a while. With all that stuff going on, a new season together might have a deeper meaning than I thought. I think it ended up hitting close to home.
I hope so. Admittedly, I'm not sure how much it resonated with people, my father included. I guess the end result was that we upheld the status quo. After all the effort that everyone, including you, put into this, I wish we could say we accomplished a little more than that.
Hey, hold that head up high, kiddo. You did a great job out there. Sucks to admit, but y'all did even better than our class. That's no small feat, even with Ren on your side.
Well, again, we can't take all the credit. You helped supervise us, after all. I think we can consider this a win for everybody. So, thank you for everything.
Don't sweat it. Just felt like pitching in.
I know it's still only the first day, but I feel strangely at ease, like a weight's been lifted from my shoulders. I doubt I'll feel that way after today, though. We have the next student council election and career counseling coming up. RMS is a lot of fun, but it's certainly not all play.
Speaking of which, you said Albert's gonna run for student council president, yeah? You're gonna be busy as a bee helping him, so you might want to cut down on your hours.
No way! You aren't getting rid of me that easily. Someone has to fill the void left behind by Swin and Nadia. And besides, we haven't closed the book on my case. A device that observes the sins of humanity. I just can't fathom why my great-grandfather would create such a thing. But I think... No. I'm positive that we still have yet to uncover all the secrets of the Genesis. There has to be more to them.
It's possible. Regardless. Given that this whole thing involves Mare and the Grendel, I can't just stand on the sidelines. I bet you anything they'd all say the same thing.
For sure. You know, Dingo may have had a point about humans being fragile and weak. I can't deny his words rang true. But there are times when we have to move forward, even if it means making a misstep or a stumble along the way. I'd go so far as to say that making mistakes is all part of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
You all had things to overcome. That goes for you too, Van. As well as Fairy, Katra, Aaron, Nadia, Swin, and everyone else. You were weighed down by your pasts, but you overcame it so you could take hold of what you have now. Thinking about this makes me realize how much I want to be like all of you, both for the sake of the Genesis and for Dad, too. I also hope it'll help me share what I'm feeling, even if those feelings likely won't be reciprocated. But I want that special someone to know. Van! Agnes!
The hell are you two standing around for? Come on, get your asses over here!
It's only just getting started, so please feel free to join.
I'm already working up a sweat.
Hey, Nina! Risha! What say we get in on the fun?
Lead the way. I was just thinking I didn't get enough dancing in earlier.
Aha! Inspiration has struck again. I'm gonna set my next thrilling theatrical extravaganza in a high school!
Ooh, what a novel concept. Ugh, no. Nothing good'll come of those two swapping ideas.
I'd be more interested in a slasher flick, personally speaking.
Ah, a man of taste. I love watching those for the sex scenes.
For the what now?
Huh? I mean...
So, you've finally shown your true colors.
Yes! Dance with me! Dance with me! Oh, and you can have the next one, Van!
Ooh. I guess I'd better call dibs on the next dance after her then.
That's no fair. Oh well. I'll just reserve the one after.
Well, when'd you become such a babe magnet, Van?
I don't think he is. They're just picking on the poor guy.
Wow, the competition's really heating up now. You better get in there and give him heckling.
Fee? How do you know what's going on? You've been away for so long.
Choose your dance partners wisely, or you may end up with sore feet.
I'm going to take loads of pictures! Guess we ought to go.
Yeah, probably. All right, you guys. We ain't gonna let you hog all the fun.